FM cares. Good morning, angels.
I'd like to introduce you to the De Freitas family this morning, and representing is Heather. Heather, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Morning.
Now, you are here because of your son, Bastian, right?
That's correct.
He's a 17-year-old youngster at school at Alberton High, student, loves his rugby,
Yes.
which is also why you're here.
Yeah.
Let me know what happened.
He was playing a match and he took on a big boy and he got tackled, so he's broken his clavicle, basically.
Collarbone.
Yep.
And badly.
Yeah, quite badly.
Your husband now works away from home, right?
Yeah.
And you've got two boys.
Yeah.
Now tell me about this one with the collarbone situation before we get deeper into that. So he obviously loves rugby.
Mad about rugby.
Tell me more about him.
He's short, quite stocky. He's very passionate about rugby and cricket, for that matter. He's working really hard to stay in the first team.
Okay.
He spent the whole of last year trying to pick up weight just to meet the requirements.
Really?
For first team. So yeah.
Position?
He's what's it? Flank.
Okay.
Flank. Yeah. That one.
We'll go with that, yeah. Flank, yeah.
Flank. I'm not a good rugby mom.
He's in the pack.
Yeah, he's in the pack. He's in the pack.
Yeah.
Working really hard.
Is he a hard-working guy?
Very hard-working guy.
He seems very dedicated. The way you explain him is very, very dedicated, and rugby is very important to him.
Absolutely. It's everything to him. I think if it wasn't for school rugby, he wouldn't be in school still.
Are you serious? Yeah. So this unfortunate thing that happened to him on the rugby field, obviously, I mean, they put him out for a while.
Yeah. Well, now it's going to put him out a little bit longer than it should have, I think.
It must really affect him, though.
Yeah, he's a bit down. He's a bit down, yeah. He's a bit down about it, but he's a big boy.
Okay, so this happened in this game. Broke his collarbone, 2 places, and you had to take him to hospital, obviously.
Correct.
Where did you go? Vereniging?
Yeah. Hospital in Vereniging. We don't have medical aid, so we're relying on state hospital.
All right.
At the moment, they're on strike or returning back from their strike.
That's what I was saying just now. It's one thing hearing about the strikes at hospitals in the news, and I said it just the other day as well. Now imagine you've got someone in that hospital, and then you see in the news, or you hear in the news, that they're striking. It must be a horrible feeling. Because already it's a challenge, I'm thinking. You know?
It's no joke. It's really no joke. Whoever can help is getting involved. Communities are getting involved. People don't realize there's nobody to make food. Your patients need food. They need medicine. They need their bedding changed. Communities are helping. Whoever can step in wherever they can help with whoever. I mean, they were looking after each other.
Really?
When I got
in the
there.
hospital?
Yeah, in the hospital.
People from the outside?
Even the guys inside, those that were inside were helping
What do you
each
mean?
other. So there's like older, it's maybe more adults coming in, popping in, checking on the younger ones, helping them get up, helping them get to the toilet. All of them carrying their their drip stands and things around, trying to help each other get through. But that's how they were doing it.
So patients helping patients.
Patients helping patients, because there's nobody there to help anybody. So
You said you didn't have a medical aid. Have you been going through a tough time?
yeah, the hospitality industry's been a little bit of a tough challenge. It's
Massive problem in COVID.
Yeah, COVID and now food prices and things. So it's very difficult. So our industry is a little bit ruthless still.
Okay.
Highly affected. So we unfortunately don't have medical aid. Oh.
And you've been through a tough time. Your husband did get a job though, which means now he works away from home.
That's yeah.
Also not ideal, but at least he's got a job now.
It's a relief.
It's a relief.
Big relief, yeah.
So when you're sitting in this hospital, you say you saw some things?
Yeah, it's quite hectic.
It's tough.
It's quite hectic. I think as an adult it's okay, but I think as a child watching casualty, we were in casualty from the Saturday, and we had to wait until Sunday evening just to get into a ward.
Wow.
And that's not him alone, it was everybody.
Okay.
So you see things maybe
Like what?
you shouldn't see. Well, I mean, you've got all these patients coming in, accidents, ladies in labour.
Ladies in labour.
Ladies in labour.
What happened with them?
Nothing.
What you would do in a maternity ward, I guess, but you got to just sit in casualty and wait.
Sure.
They had to sit and wait in casualties to get into the ward as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine that.
No,
Yeah.
that is absolutely insane.
It is just so overloaded. And if you know, when you talk to the doctors, you could, let me put it this way, the doctors are doing what they can with what they've got.
Yeah.
There's just no space. They are working. I mean, we were there. I think I saw the same 3 doctors from the time we were there until the time we left. So they're also stretched, completely working crazy hours. The nurses the same. So it's just a overloaded disaster. It's a disaster.
Well, listen, thanks for being with us on the show this morning, and stay with us a little while longer. Let's see if we can get some angels together and help out. Not an ideal situation. Firstly, going to the state hospital in Vereniging, and then, of course, the strike. How the heck? This young man must be pretty deflated at this stage. I don't know what we can do to lift his head, but let's see.
Good morning, angels.
I mean, what is the ratio? I mean, how many nurses and doctors are still working during the strike?
Basically, there's those that can sneak in or get in or have stayed. At that time, there was only 1 doctor for the entire hospital.
For the entire hospital?
Entire hospital, taking in from casualty whoever could get in manually with a car. Ambulances were blocked from going in. And then 1 nurse basically to 7 wards.
What?
Sewe Sala.
Yeah.
1 nurse, 1 doctor. And there's your child with a broken collarbone. And you think to yourself, oh, this seems like a hopeless situation. He must be in pain as well. Let's be honest.
Pretty much. He's brave, but he's sore.
And he was in the casualty area from the Saturday till the Sunday night.
That's right, yeah. There was no space for him to start off with. Or pretty much anybody else that was with us.
So was lying in a bed in casualty.
In a wheelchair,
She just sat
Sitting
there.
upright
Yeah.
with a broken collarbone. Yes.
pretty much.
And what did you say to him just to keep him motivated? It's like, just hang in there, boy.
Just hang in there.
What do you say? It's like, yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah. No, just hold on.
And Shame, all he wants to do is rugby, play rugby.
Yeah.
When you're 17 years old and you've got your mind set on something,
Yeah.
I mean, cast your minds back. You just want to
Yeah.
become this, or you just want to do that. It's a big thing. And now, of course, from that to sitting down
Yeah.
for a while. How's he doing now?
He's okay. He's quite happy. He doesn't have to do much schoolwork.
That's the upside, Shame. All right.
Well, not really, because he's now got to get photos. So he gets photos, and then we write for him in his book. So he's got the information at least.
But hang on, that's quite a disruption. Grade 11.
Yeah.
That's a big academic year. It's the biggest
I'm sorry,
academic
it's the
year,
toughest.
actually.
Probably, yeah.
You're right. I'm going to
massive.
agree with you. I think it's the toughest.
Yes.
It's massive.
It's massive.
Yeah.
So he's missing out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Are you trying to help him? What are you sending photo? What did you say? Sending?
So he gets photos from or pictures of the from his friends. So he gets information from his friends, and then we just sit at night and he reads it, that he can actually hear it, and
Yeah.
then we just write it in his books for him. So
Oh, is
he's
it?
got it, so he can learn it at least.
So you're doing grade 11 as well?
Yeah,
In
again.
the hospital again.
Again,
How's it going this time around?
much better,
Really?
way more committed.
Shame, man.
Yeah.
So what needs to happen now? It's not an ideal situation. You end up in the state hospital, then there's the strike. One doctor, one nurse, chaos. And these women that come in, sorry, I'm back with the pregnant lady.
Yeah.
How did that end? Where did she give birth?
In casualty, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Helped by other patients.
Yep. Pretty
That's-
much.
That's just bizarre. And what did you try and think, like, how can I help? Like,
Yeah, well, there's nothing, there's nothing you can really do. You can maybe just tap on the shoulder or comfort, or that's
I suppose.
about all you can do.
Yeah, I mean, but that's so South African as well. In times like those, South Africans will jump in.
Thank you.
And just, I mean, you in the hospitality industry, did any of your training kick in this hospital that's on strike? Did you offer anything?
Well, we tried. I mean, if there's, I can't help medically, but we tried to get involved and try and get the people something to eat, or
Seriously?
porridge, or tea, or coffee, or something, because they're all sitting waiting. And they did ultimately eventually get food, but it was maybe one meal that they got for the day that they could put together, or maybe with one person cooking. I don't know how many people were preparing food even.
What's the toughest part of all of this for you?
It's that as a parent, you've kind of failed your child. You've missed the plot. I mean, why do we work? Why do we,
Struggle. Yeah.
yeah, it's all for them. And our system has failed them too. Our young children, these are going to become adults one day.
Yeah.
And that's, what do we teach them? How do we grow them? This is how it is now, is not creating a positive youth. It's breaking them.
But our communities are strong.
Yeah.
Just listening to the story now of this hospital in strike mode. I mean, and also the reason you're here is because people write to us.
Yes.
There are people around you, some of them you may know, some of them you may not even know, that care enough to write to Good Morning Angels and say to us, you know what, they're going through a tough time right now. He needs to be operated on, right?
Urgently, yeah.
Urgently. How urgently?
As soon as possible. I think he can carry the break for about 2 weeks. So we've got a couple of days left.
Oh my goodness. I believe in good faith that you've made an appointment on Friday
That's correct, yes.
for him, but it costs money.
That it does.
Do you know how much it costs?
No. Well, yeah. Well, we've got an idea of what it's going to cost us. We have somebody to help us with the appointment, the surgeon's appointment. But then we stop from there. We just can't go any further.
Well, so here's the situation, and we just got to do the news quickly, and I want you just to hang around, because already there's a listener on the line. I often say we can't come up with all the solutions on Good Morning Angels necessarily, but can we get the ball rolling? Yes, we can. And that's where communities come in.
Yeah.
People you know, people you don't know, people that listen to the show. People are part of our station's fam. It's just, so let's see. We'll take the news quickly, do Secret Sound, and then we're going to continue with the story of Heather and Bastian from Alberton area, Bastian in Vereniging Hospital. And you've got this appointment, and I've got a fair idea of what that could cost you. And you're saying, from here, it's hope. Ons hoop maar vir die beste.
Good morning, angels.
For Good Morning Angels this morning, our special guest is Heather de Freitas, talking about her son Bastian. He's a learner at Alberton High and got injured very badly in a rugby game. Ended up in the state hospital in Vereniging. And you think to yourself, it's already a challenge, but now with the strikes, I mean, the stories that Heather's been sharing this morning, it's tough. And you as a parent, I think if it was you, it's a different story, but then it's your son. I think that makes a difference, right?
Right. Definitely.
As you said just now, you really feel, you can feel responsible and you're accountable and all that kind of stuff. So you want the best for him. And he's been through a tough time there. I mean, having to hang around casualties to get into a ward, and now, of course, needs an operation. I'm guessing if the hospital only has one doctor and, one nurse for 7 wards, you probably don't feel very confident about what they can do there to an operation. And he's still growing, so it's a very important operation.
Definitely an important one.
And he's a very active guy as well. So you want to do a good job so that he can, continue, at some point, play sport.
That's right.
I don't know about rugby, but maybe rugby or cricket or whatever. What are his interests?
So he also does well in cricket. He's first and second team cricket. He used to be part of the Alberton Cricket Club as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's a good young sportsman.
Yeah, he
It's
likes
a
his
good club.
sport.
Ed, is it a good club?
Yeah, they've got a bit of a reputation.
Yeah.
Really good players.
Yeah.
Shame, man. So you really want to fast track this whole process, but now he's sitting in that hospital. And but you said that there are, obviously, there's specialist help out there. But man, out of medical aid, it's a lot of cost. It's a huge cost. But I believe that you've made an appointment Friday, hoping for the best. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, they can only start. Can only start one way and just see how we go from there, one step at a time.
Just jump in,
Yep.
make an appointment, and then, as I said, the power of community. Just the stories you told us about the hospital in strike time, tells you once again. And in Good Morning Angels, every week we see it. People write about other people. People wrote to us about you and your situation. Do you know how much it's going to cost?
It's gonna ballpark figure, depending on how because we haven't seen a surgeon as yet, so we'll see the surgeon on Friday, so they'll give us a more accurate figure. But it's roughly about 50 to 60,000.
That you need for this,
Yep.
which I'm guessing you don't quite have right now.
No, not really.
I think you're laughing not because it's funny, because you just feel hopeless probably. Yeah? It's like, oh my gosh, how do we get here?
It's physically an impossibility. Absolutely impossible.
Does this all drain you?
Yeah, but what do? We got to be positive.
You got to get to work.
Yep,
You got to keep on going on.
correct.
Trying to get a son through grade 11. Hello.
Yeah, it's...
I'm guessing that's tough enough as it is.
Yeah.
Oh, completely. Knowing he needs a surgery, knowing that this is a massive academic year, and obviously after COVID, trying to get back on your feet. I can't imagine the amount of stress you're under, but as the mom, you kind of just got to put on your big girl panties and keep on going forward.
100%.
Get to work, do some grade 11, speak to him and put some positive thoughts in his head,
That's it.
because he's down and out probably as well.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty scared in a situation like that as well.
Terrified.
But there's hope on the horizon. There's an appointment on Friday. On the line is Elise, and she's just been listening this morning. She's literally just been listening. And Elise, goeiemôre, good morning.
Morning, Morten.
As jy 'n ma?
Ek is 'n ma van 9.
Sure.
9 kinders. Goodness gracious me. Well, listen, you should take over for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
en praat 'n bietjie moed in haar kop in. Elise, hierso is Heather op die ander lyn. Jy atleer saam met ons. Heather, meet Elise. Elise just wanted to give you some words of encouragement, I think, as well. Elise, praat met Heather. 9 kinders, sê jy.
9 van hulle almal tieners, sportmense, so ek verstaan waar sy gaan as hulle seer het en in pyn is en ons gaan tans ook weer 'n situasie met my man wat ook in 'n staatshospitaal is, so ons almal weet hoe sy voel.
Sure. Maar voorspoed vir julle en dankie jy tyd vat. Dit klink vir my dat jy al klaar baie op jou skouers dra en jou hande vol het met baie, so vir hom in te bel om 'n bietjie vir Heather en vir Bastian moet in te praat is amazing van jou. I love that.
Jy moet maar net sterk staan, weet dit is nog 'n moeilike tyd wat voor lê en baie hare op jou kan hê. Maar ek gaan vir jou R1000 gee om jou te help. En ek hoop dit kan cover dit net jou petrol. Ek ken die onkoste elke dag in en uit en die kos aandra en daar kom om te bad en te was. Wees net sterk en dit gaan verby.
Shame. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Elise.
much.
Waar vanaf kom jy?
Ons is van Pretoria, Bonnekor.
That's what I love about the show. You can have someone from Alberton having a situation in vereniging and someone who doesn't even know you, Elise from Pretoria, with 9 teenagers and a husband in hospital, cares enough. That's amazing, right?
Absolutely amazing.
That gives you hope.
You're
That's
very
amazing, Elise.
Baie dankie julle.
Mooi dag vir jou, hoor. Bye.
Dieselfde vir julle.
Bye.
Bye.
I mean, that just gets me tearing up. That people are that kind and benevolent and selfless, right?
100%.
9
It's
teenagers,
amazing.
can you imagine?
I'd rather not.
Right?
Rather not.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah.
Well, listen, okay, so 1,000, so there's a couple of thousand short. What I want to do from Good Morning Angels this morning, and this is how it becomes full circle. You know, we've had these kids playing our morning family quiz. Don't know if you've heard the last couple of months. And so many of these schools do amazing things for their communities. They get involved, they do little projects and things, just amazing and encouraging. And some of the schools have also donated towards Good Morning Angels. I thought to myself, there's the schoolboy from Alberton, in hospital needs this operation, we have these kind, generous, benevolent kids play our morning family quiz. So on their behalf this morning, I want to donate some of those funds to you and your family. I want to give you 50,000 rand.
It's amazing. I can't speak truthfully. I've got a mouth like a sailor.
It's okay. It's after 8. The kids are out of the car.
Gosh.
So there's 51,000.
Oh my word. That's amazing.
Thanks for sharing your story. All the best. Send Bastion our love. We're thinking of you. All the best for the appointment on Friday, Heather. And I know that you try and keep strong, and you have to, for yourself and for your kids, Bastion, your husband and all that, but also look after yourself.
Yeah.
You know? It's okay not to be okay sometimes.
This can only teach our children of the future to be strong and humble. Without things like this, we don't have a future. So thank you very, very much.
You're most welcome.
Very much.
Together we can, eh?
Absolutely.
Look after yourself. Elise, dankie vir jou oproep. Good job, Angels. Good job.
Good morning, Angels. Breakfast with Martin Bester. 6 to 9 weekdays. Exclusive to Jacaranda FM.